Have you ever had an emotion get triggered by seeing one single thing? Here's the thing. If everyone in the world knew how you thought, they probably wouldn't say or do half the things they do. But they don't. They don't know how your mind works. They don't know what you've been through, the traumatic experiences, the great experiences, the excitement, the joy, the sadness. Nobody has been through what you've been through. And I really feel that recently. There's a Facebook and Instagram, like a social media picture that's been going around that shows what were you at the end of last decade and at the end of this decade. So that'd be 2009 and 2019. So I was like, oh, that could be fun. I don't normally repost those things, but I thought that could be fun. Then all these posts come out about, oh, a new decade, like what'd you accomplish these last 10 years? We're going to go into a new decade. It's going to be great, this and that. But I look back at my 10 years, I know I've accomplished so much, which I'm very thankful for and glad. But I'm so triggered by remembering all these thoughts. I look back and see in 2009, it was November, December when this post is going around, so it was about a month ago. And I look at the pictures and instantly triggered me. I didn't know how to react. I just sat there for a minute and all of the suddenly, all the memories, the emotions, everything came so vivid to my mind. And it was a struggle. I didn't want to see these posts. I didn't want to see the 2009 post. My first year into the new decade, I wasn't even 20 years old yet. And in January 22nd, 2010, I attempted to take my life. I had my suicide plan all planned out and was ready to go. I was in Norway, and pictures of my family at that Christmas came up. And I remembered, like, these were the last pictures I was going to get with my family, and then it was going to be done. I was going to be out of my depression, out of my misery, and be done. On the way, my plan didn't exactly work, clearly, because I'm sitting here, but I had a couple of different things. Okay, if that doesn't work at the right time, I'll go do this. If that doesn't work, I'm going to go do this. So I had a backup plan. I had it to happen on my way back to America to come back to college again, which is where my depression started. I had it all laid out, and I attempted, and God sent 3 angels and saved me. And I know they were angels because I'm in an airport in the almost late at night, a red-eye flight. I was in there. 3 ladies came in. So I was like, oh, I gotta clean up. So I left out, sat outside the room and waited for them to come out so I could go back in and just finish and be done. I was so depressed that I just wanted to be done. I wanted it all to go away. I was saved. God's angels came and saved me. And it was so clear that they were his angels because the room I was in, I left, and when I went back in there to complete and to be done, they were gone. They were not in there. So it was angels, and I believe it truly. So I knew I couldn't, there's more to my life. Something's going to happen. I'm supposed to be here. I just knew it, but I didn't know what that meant. I had no idea why I couldn't just keep going. Like, why did God's angels come and save me? I don't know. And I knew right then and there, God was watching over me, and there are angels, and they do watch over me. So the thing is, we have to nowadays be so careful on what we say, what we do. Not even nowadays, always. Be careful on what we say, what we do, what we repost. Because you don't know who's on the other side of that and what it can trigger. I was so far in depression that I just wanted to be gone. I didn't care the thoughts of anyone else or how they felt or anything. I wanted to be gone. You know, there's so many things that are like mental health awareness, depression awareness, suicide awareness. But in society, I feel like we still aren't aware. We aren't aware of what's going on to those right beside us. I have people, I look at those pictures and no one would have guessed that I was about to take my life. No one. You see me smiling. You see me happy. I was very known at college because I was from Norway, so it was exciting. People love to hear me speak Norwegian. People love to hear about my culture. But here's the thing, nobody knew how depressed I was that I just wanted to end it. So I don't feel like I feel like all these awarenesses are more a fad. Like, oh yeah, I went into for the 5K walkathon for depression awareness. But what'd you really do? Did you really make an impact? So I just continue. I went back to college, continued on, finished the semester, summer came, and then shortly after that, I met a guy later on that year, still 2010, and it was pretty exciting because I never had a boyfriend before, and it went to that point. We were talking for a while and then we made it official. But something that I just don't understand and I never will understand is what happened when we made it official. He became physically abusive to me, and I will never understand why. But I didn't completely see it at the beginning because I was like, oh, is this how boyfriend, girlfriend, how it works? Is this how you get treated? I didn't understand. But when he pinned me up against the wall with my neck and his hands right in front of his cousin, I knew that was not right. I had to get out. I had to leave. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do, so I just continued to sit there and stay in that room, and his cousin did nothing about it. And I still, to this day, I won't understand. I let him control me for 2 weeks. That may sound not like very much, but the amount of control and abuse he did in 2 weeks will affect me for a lifetime. And I know our hearts can heal and we can get past it, but it still will always affect us. So the thing is, we have to be so careful in what we do, what we say to people, because you don't know what will be triggered in their mind. I mean, great if it's happiness and joyful, and it reminds them of a certain event that they had a great time. Great, but you never know what else can happen. What a simple post on social media has triggered this in my mind so vividly. And I don't understand why it's so raw in my mind, but I felt in my heart that this is something I need to share. That there is someone that is supposed to hear this and hear my story and understand that you're not alone. And it's okay to be depressed. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to be happy, not sure why you're happy. It's okay. The thing that I've always been taught is to just get counseling and you'll be good and fine and dandy and it'll be butterflies and sunflowers and bubbles. But that's not how it works. Depression will tear up your life and almost take it if you let it. And you cannot let it. There is a reason that you must continue on. You will impact other people's lives, and I know it. Talking about back to the full decade. In these past 10 years, I have gone from trying to take my life, being physically abused, and then 2 years later, I meet my now husband, who is such a gentleman, soft, sweet, amazing guy who truly knows how to take care of a woman. 2 years later, my husband and I become foster parents, and we introduce 2 kids into our home. And the impact I know I've had on their lives is beyond words. I can relate to these kids that we've had in our home because of traumatic events that have happened. Maybe I can't relate to being pulled from my parents because I had a very good upbringing, but I can relate to the trauma side of it. Why I don't get why 10 years later am I still fighting depression in my head. this story isn't going to end up being bubbles and sunflower fields and all awesome. Because I still fight depression today. And that's the hard part. Because it is a chemical imbalance in your head. And it won't ever go away. I'm realizing it won't ever go away. We have to learn to cope with it. What are you going to do to cope with your depression when something happens? But it just really gets me thinking, is this going to be forever? Am I going to live this way that I'm always going to have to fight in my head being just completely depressed? And I understand, yes, it is going to be that way, unfortunately. And the good news is there are ways to cope with it. Think about the impact you make in other people's lives when you don't even realize it. Find ways to deal with it. Talk it out with someone. Go to the gym and work out. Here's the thing. You can't pick up another addiction to cover it up. Believe me when I say it doesn't work. I've gone from self-injuring myself. I started smoking just to get rid of that feeling of emotion that I just did not like and I hated. That didn't work. So I actually got a tattoo on my arm to get pain. I wanted that pain because I needed to get rid of in my head the emotions. Then the next thing, it's just one thing after another and nothing works. You want to know why? Because it's temporary enjoyment. And that's the problem. You have to learn to switch your mind and understand you are more worth than what your brain is telling you, what your mind is telling you. So after we have had foster kids in our home, it really has brought incredible light to my life. And I just am extremely thankful. I want to say foster kid is not easy. I'll tell you that right now. Whew. It is not easy. They're not your kids, but you treat them like yours. And then other people ask and you don't know how to answer and it's just a limbo. But whatever the case is, those kids are looking at you in the eye like you are the world to them. And because you are. You are loving on them, you are playing with them, you are giving them the attention they need, you are training them up. We had girls in our home. She was 4 and the other one's 5 years old. They didn't know their colors. But by the time they left our home, just under a year later, they knew all their colors. They knew some numbers and their alphabet. Like, that is just crazy the impact that my life has been on theirs. And that's got to be why those angels came and saved me. Because I'm supposed to be helping those around me. So I don't like these vivid, raw emotion, like replaying what happened 10 years ago and over the last decade, what has happened. But it's forced me in a way to make this video and share my story with you. And I want you to understand that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are worth it. There is someone out there that you're supposed to make an impact on their life. And so I can't really say that putting my whole self out there is something that I wanted to do, but I really felt that it was something I needed to do. Why would I want all those around me, my coworkers, my family, my extended family, my friends, why would I want them to know all this about me? Why would I want them to know that I attempted suicide? I was physically abused. I self-injured myself. I smoked. Why would I want them to know all this? That I fight depression. If I am raw and genuine with people, that they can be raw and genuine with me. That they can feel they can talk with me. So don't let someone say, just get over your depression. Just get over your mental illness. Because it just doesn't work that way. Talk to someone. Come talk to me. Message me. Whatever you got to do, talk to me. Like I said, this story doesn't end with bubbles and sunflower fields. Like, I still fight it. And that's the thing is, I am happy though. I continually figure out how to cope with my triggers, my depression. And that's what it's all about. I hope that I can help someone with this video and understand that you don't know what's going on next to you. And I want people to realize, take care of those around you. Pay close attention. Try to see if they are triggered by something by watching them. What do they say? What do they do? Signs to look for are they really happy? Someone who's overly happy, what are they hiding? Granted, they could be very happy. We'll give them that. But I want to help those around you too. My parents had no idea that I was going to attempt. They were clueless. And I don't want that to happen to other people. Something interesting that happened was a couple years ago, my tattoo artist passed away. And I actually didn't know the reason for the longest time until this year. And it was by suicide. I lost my tattoo artist by suicide. I have a family member who we lost. It's an extended family member who we lost by suicide. Have another family member who attempted. And what is crazy is it breaks me. I would have had no idea the other side of what my family would have gone through. I am reading through comments and messages sent to my tattoo artist and messages from his mom, his family, because he had a 2-year-old son, like watching his son grow up, and he is not there to see him grow up. I'm reading through these comments and understanding that's what my family would have felt. And I would have never known this had I succeeded. Had it been successful and I was gone, I would have never known this. And it crushed me. It broke me. And I still remember all these comments that I read just not long ago. Seeing the mom suffer, the dad. Like, the son has no idea who his dad is because he's gone. And it just breaks my heart. I have a piece on my ribs that took almost 5 hours to do for the tattoo. My tattoo artist was there with me the whole time. And you would have never guessed. Never. So the thing is, be aware of those around you. And that's what I want to express most. I love you guys so much. Whether I know you or not, you are loved, and reach out to me. Because it does get better. And I am, goodness. You know, here's the thing. 2019 was one of my most difficult, incredible years. So I started out this past decade being completely crushed. Finding some light, being crushed, and then going into the following years, bettering my mental health and finding light. 2019, I feel like I'm wrapping it up the same way I started, which is sad but amazing. I had found myself. I had found that self-care is so important. You need to take care of yourself in order to be happy, find gratitude, continue in life, encourage others around you, have fun in life, those type of things. You need to have self-care is so important. It's not selfish. You need to make sure you're okay before you can make sure others are okay. So that was one incredible thing that happened in 2019, which I never really thought about it before, that I need to take care of myself. The other thing is, we had 2 foster sons in our home, and they were placed with us for the intent to adopt. We were pretty excited. We fell in love with them, and they fit in our family so well. They fit with my nieces and nephews, got along with them. Like, it was so perfect. So we thought. Then in September, a little prior to that, we got the news that they were moving. And it broke me. Because here I've had these boys in my home for 15 months. And now they're not going to be adoptable. They're going somewhere else. They did end up going to their biological mom, which, we pray for them often and hope the best for them. But why did I have to go through that? And I understand that I had to go through that just a few months ago to get myself more aware of my mental state. I had to understand that they were placed in our home to help them get past traumatic events. They were placed in our home because I could show them the love. I could teach them and help them. We pray that they will become successful in their schooling and their future. But as hard as it is to lose them, I know it's part of the bigger picture, part of the plan, God's plan of what our future holds. So I have 2019, what a roller coaster. And in the midst of all that, I have launched a very successful business, financially training other people to become better at their own personal finances, which is a very stressful part in life. Again, mental health awareness. Be aware people are stressed in so many avenues. So I've been able to help people through this. And so it's just been an incredible year. And I don't want to talk about the past decade and the next decade, but I am so excited what's next. Because I know that I'm here to help people. And it's taken me an entire decade to realize that. An entire 10 years. So as much as I don't want all of this, all my emotions to be fully thrown out there, I felt it was needed. And I really did. So I know this has ended up being a long video, and if you've stuck with me this far, awesome. Appreciate it. I appreciate you hearing me out. And like I said, please reach out to me. If you don't know me, that's okay. Because I want to help you. I want to have you be aware how to cope with your mental health rather than listen to people say to just deal with it or to get counseling and that's the complete healer. Because I understand it's not. That's that decade. So it all started from a single post that started going viral. Post your picture from 10 years ago and from this day and tell us what's been going on for the last decade. So those two posts triggered all of this. So you don't realize what's going on with the person next to you. Please be aware. If you have questions or want to understand or figure out how to spot signs or just need someone to talk to, let me know. So, alright, love you guys.